3D challenge number 1, part 1. Gather your materials, your notebook, a pencil, Sharpies if you have them, black Sharpies, regular pen will do, colored pencils if you have them, colored markers if you have those. But again, if all you have is a graphite pencil, you can still do a great job. So you have your template that I passed out in class last week. And if you'll turn to the page, 3D Design Challenge number 1, it'll go over your directions. Remember, the intention for this project is to review the elements and principles of design. So in each one of the squares, you'll be illustrating one element. You don't have to do the black space. And you'll use the principles of design to help guide your decisions about how to arrange things. You have those listed in your book, and those should help you with this project. So first, you can decide which square you want to start with. I like to start some thinking, some idea sketches. Some people call these thumbnail sketches. To get my ideas going before I actually start right on the final piece, I'll look through the elements. I think I'll start with line. And I'll look at the principles. Now you might be tempted, oh, line, simple. I'll just draw some horizontal lines. Well, if you were in elementary school, that'd be fine. But you're not, you're in the 8th grade. So let's try to elevate that idea a little bit by using a variety of different lines, horizontal, vertical. Make sure you're going edge to edge. Maybe those lines can overlap. So I'm going to look at the principles now. I can use the idea of contrast. Perhaps I can make some of the lines larger. Perhaps I could add a curving line. That line would be emphasized because it's different. When you do something different in a design, it attracts attention. Maybe that line also could be darker for contrast. So once I have my idea ready, then I can go ahead and transfer it to my final template. Remember, it's always a good idea to draw very lightly with your pencil so that if you make a line that's not working and you want to change it, you can easily erase it. Once you push a graphite pencil deep into the paper, it's really hard to get it out. So just practice drawing very lightly. Again, go edge to edge. As you're working out beside the square, please write the element and the principle that you're using in that particular square. So I'm using line, I'm using contrast because I've changed the line, and I'm going to emphasize one of those lines. So my next step, if I have a Sharpie or if you have a Sharpie, you might want to outline your pencil. You might want to fill some areas in for contrast, that deep dark next to the white background. If you only have a pencil, in the next part video, I will show you what to do with that graphite pencil. Once you have it outlined, I would recommend erasing your pencil marks. Remember, good craftsmanship really counts a lot. You can have a great idea, but if it's messy, the viewer's only going to see the messy. They're not going to see your really good design. So take care when you're filling in areas or when you're outlining to really do your best. So I'm just going to emphasize this line. Remember Mr. House's old trick, build your fence and then fill in. Go around the edges first. So here's my design. I filled it in the way that I want. And I've noticed that where the lines overlap, I've created shapes. So I can add that to my list for that particular square. Now I was thinking it might be nice to add just a bit of color, another element, to create a focal point. The focal point draws the viewer's eye to a particular part of your design. And that's emphasized. So there I've used another principle of design. So then I'm going to go to my next one. I'll just follow the list. I'll do shape. As I'm looking at this square, I've used really geometric and angular lines in this particular, in the first one. So this one I might contrast it with some organic shapes. I like the work of Matisse, so I'm going to use some of those really free-form shapes. I think overlapping them will help divide the space of the square into more interesting background shapes. I'm going to add another smaller shape, maybe emphasize that particular shape again because it's different than the other shapes. Put a little line now there out to the outside. Remember, keep track of which elements and which principles you're using in each square. This is going to be really important later because I'm going to ask you to share with the class what elements and what principles you have used. All right, so once again, you can use an ink pen, you can use marker to add additional elements or principles into your design. So I've outlined with marker again. I'm going to erase the pencil again. Good clean craftsmanship, clean edges, not all messy. Keep it clean. Now I've added the color. I've added color in each one of the shapes. I've even added some color in the background. So the space is all worked. Now I've created movement by repeating colors. Anytime you repeat a color, it helps move the viewer's eye through your design. So there I've got movement taken care of in that square. So I'd go on to each additional square, choose an element, I'd practice, figure out what I'm going to do in that design, and complete 4 different elements for that design. Again, check your elements, check your principles, and see how you can use those to illustrate and design this piece. Please go on to the next part. There'll be an answer to the quick quiz.